Welcome back to Lotus on Track and Snetterton for the opening round of the 2013 Lotus Cup UK, where we have got a ferocious battle going on amongst the Lotus 211s as last year's champion Steve Train tries to dive to the inside of Tom Chataway, which Chataway in the white car, who's just been able to keep his nose in front as they arrive into Montreal. As we've got a spinner as well, that's Ken Savage. He's new for 2013 211 who rotates. Simon Deacon tries to move up ahead of Steve Train, all the while at the head of the field. We've got a fantastic fight ongoing between Andrew Bentley and Michael Lyons. Also charging in the production class is Tom Bradshaw, the silver number 17 car in the Elise, on the tail then of Doug Setters in the Combat Laser Games. Exige the pair of them sprinting out of Murray's on to complete a lap as into the pits. We've got the first of the driver changes underway. Also coming in with his rear tail light hanging off is Marcus Jewell, because of course if you've never seen Lotus Cup UK before, to explain, they've all got to make a mandatory pit stop in the middle of the race, and most of them take the opportunity to change drivers as well. That's why Liz Halliday, who's going the whole distance, stays in the cockpit. Just has a little bit to think about how things have been going so far, and the answer is they've been going very, very well for Liz. Less well for Marcus Jewell, the trackclub.com team going to work on the rear diffuser of Jewell's 211. Also charging into the pit lane then comes Tom Chataway. Rejoining the action is James Littlejohn, having taken over from Gisela Ketvel. The driver change underway is Matt Bartlett and James Knight. That exige very shortly to move back on trackers. Into the pit lane comes Andrew Bentley, who's been fighting to lead the race. That will be turned over to Adrian Lester. So the Evora comes to halt in the pits. Also in is Simon Deacon. There's Simon taking on some fluids in the pit garage as his car also takes the opportunity to replenish its thirst. Rejoining the race then is Adrian Lester in the Evora as Michael Lyons, the race leader, comes in, turned over to David Harvey. But there's quite a lot of smoke just beginning to emerge from 340R. An awful lot of smoke coming from the tail of the 340R. Hopefully that's just testimony to the pace that Lyons has been running and not precursor to something a little bit more serious. Running into trouble there would appear to be Neil Livesey, having taken over from Tom Bradshaw. That means that it's John Walker now who leads the way in the bright yellow car. He's staying out very late in the pit window as Haley's caught up with some of the drivers.
We had a great start. Just couldn't keep with that little light car, and we've literally twice the weight of them, and you know, in fairness, twice the power. But this is a very technical, twisty circuit. We just couldn't keep with it, but absolutely superb fun, great car to run in.
Yeah, it was a bit of a whirlwind at the start. I don't really know what happened. We got onto the back straight and the cars just started going like that. But yeah, I suppose it's the big V6 cars against my little 340R. So yeah, I had a good scrap with him. We sort of went everywhere. Me and Jamie had a little scrap at the start on the first couple of laps as well. It was good fun. And then once I was able to break free, I was able to get my head down and get a bit of a gap, and I just sort of pushed along from there.
Well, whatever the problem for Marcus Jewell was, it's got considerably worse. The tail end of the 211 very emphatically on fire, so Jewell pulls off the road and will climb out of the car. Unfortunately, he is going no further. It's also not a crowning moment either for Rob Fenn, who has been so quick this weekend. They really thought they were in with a chance of victory, but for the Gogri Motorsport car out of the first race of the season, it has prompted the safety car along with several other smouldering Lotuses around the track. The marshals deciding the best course of action is safety. Ken Savage, another of the cars that has been forced into retirement. Chris Setters as well. So with that many cars requiring movement to a place of safety, no surprise at all that the safety car's back. It bunches the field up and sets us up very, very nicely for an entertaining conclusion to this race. So it's the number 7 car, John Walker, who leads the way. And not particularly tightly bunched here on this restart, and that's going to give John Walker a slight advantage as he is about to press the loud pedal. Pulling into the pit lane is Steve Train. The race gets underway then as they accelerate along the centre straight on towards Richards for the first time. Effectively it means it's Jamie Stanley in second position, and Stanley has now got just a handful of laps to close in on John Walker and maybe snatch victory here. Adrian Lester in the Evora also trying to negotiate his way through the traffic. As an instant there, Matthias Radstock it is who goes around. Stuart Plotnick also has a spin to the tail end of the shot. It's of no concern to the leading duo. They are through and gone. The loop also continuing on his way as Walker and Stanley, both of them pushing very, very hard as they accelerate out of Palmer on past the Tyrrell's restaurant towards Agostini. We take another look then at this instant into Riches. The leading trio gets through okay. There's Matthias Radstock looking to the inside line, and Andrew Wright comes across, shuts the door. Radstock loses it own accord, tags Wright. Fortunately, with no damage to Andrew Wright in the bright red 44 car, except maybe for a replacement wing mirror being needed. And then at the back of the shot, around goes Stuart Plotneck. All of them actually very lucky not to come into contact with anybody else, as you can see just how hard Jamie Stanley and John Walker are pushing, and with very good reason. We've only got a couple of laps remaining here at Snetterton. Walker just planting his right foot, running into Riches. Jamie Stanley looking very, very smooth. Lovely shot there into the cockpit. Just a single right turn of the wheel as the pair of them sprint towards the hairpin at Montreal. Slippery surface flag is out. Doesn't deter either of them. They accelerate out to Montreal on towards Palmer. As Adrian Lester about to lose third position to Liz Halliday, who looks to the outside. Simon Deacon in the all-black 39 car as well, trying to squeeze through. This is the fight for third then, and it's going to be 3 wide on towards Montreal, and it's Deacon who has got his nose in front then of Liz Halliday. Adrian Lester gets shuffled further down as Tom Chataway also takes the opportunity to squeeze through. And this, the lead of the production class, and it's Andy Napier who is to the fore of that. He's got James Littlejohn in his tail, but Littlejohn actually running a lap down, so Napier showing supremely well as Liz Halliday, who's overhauled Simon Deacon out of our shot. So Liz Halliday now clambers up to third in the race overall. Simon Deacon, though he's won in this championship before, he remains on the tail of the former show jumper as well as the Mon Racer. We've got a rescue vehicle on track now. Have the leaders seen it? They accelerate out to Montreal. John Walker does, Jamie Stanley does, just in the nick of time, and so that is unsurprisingly going to slow them down and bunch them right up, because whilst the yellow flag is shown, they can't overtake a rescue vehicle. And Jamie Stanley maybe was just lining up for the move on John Walker there. So they head through Palmer at almost a below safety car pace, waiting for that rescue vehicle to move to a place of safety, at which point we'll be able to get the racing back underway. The rescue vehicle pulls off there. The reason is Tom Chataway, I think, has come into contact with the barrier in front of that car damage, so the marshals decided to err on the side of caution, make sure that Tom is comfortable before they get him out of the car. So that rather thwarts Jamie Stanley's opportunity. So let's see the gap then between Walker and Stanley as they arrive into Oggies. It's about 4 or so car lengths, and Liz Halliday right on the tail of Jamie Stanley, who slows, and Jamie Stanley runs into trouble and slows down. Halliday moves in second, Simon Deacon into third position. And how the luck can change in motorsport. Jamie Stanley a couple of moments ago looked like he was going to win the race. Were he able to make his way past John Walker? Now he slows into retirement. Stuart Plotneck has recovered and continues to chase his way up through the order, as through Coram for the final time. Arriving into Murray's is John Walker, and who'd have thought it? It's going to be victory then in the first round of the 2013 Lotus Cup UK. Jonathan Walker. Second place will go to Liz Halliday, and completing the rostrum, Simon Deacon, in what was an incredibly dramatic finish to the race. Well, John Walker acknowledges the applause. I'm sure he can quite believe he won that one. So let's take a look at the results by class. Within the 211s, it was victory for Liz Halliday from Simon Deacon, and Tom Chataway classified as third. In the open class, won by Jeff Milam and Steve Guglielmi from formerly BJ Chong. The Exige Cup, Jamie Stanley still classified despite that last lap retirement from Capstick and Brooks. And in the V6 Cup, well, it was John Walker who won it from Adrian Lester and Andrew Bentley. In the production championship, production class, a win, and a very, very popular win indeed for Andy Napier from John Lemaster and Andrew Wright, despite that evasive action, completing the rostrum with Neil Stottert in fourth and Stuart Plotneck recovering to fifth from Matthias Radstock, who also had the dramas as we saw. Fantastically competitive race there for the Lotus Cup UK, with such a huge field as well. It sets us up very, very nicely for the remainder of the season. So the hard work of the day is done. Big round of applause for Andy Napier as he gets onto the top step of the rostrum, poses for the photos with his rivals, and then the overall race winner, Jonathan Walker from Liz Halliday and Simon Deacon.
The race was quite difficult actually. I mean, 90 minutes is a long time, but but in the pit stop I found out where I was, refueled, got some energy back and went back out there and really enjoyed it.
And you feeling hopeful for the rest of the year?
I am, as long as the car lasts, that's the key, and it proved itself today, and Datum did a really good job.
You know, I have to give credit to John Danby Racing and the whole crew. You know, the car was really reliable today, the most reliable I think it was ever last season, for a full hour and a half to start the season. And I think we've seen the full gamut of endurance racing today, you know, moving around the field and accidents and, you know, wins by attrition for some people. And yeah, just amazing to finish second overall, and thanks to my hard-working team.
It's good fun. First 90-minute race I've done. The second half is a lot more satisfying than the first half. Because the first half you're thinking, God, there's 90 minutes to this. I don't know if I'm up for it. But the second half you're sort of counting it down. But it was really enjoyable. Really enjoyed it.
So one race of the season done, and this is what the championship standings looks like. So in the Supersport Championship, it's John Walker by 4 points from Liz Halliday, with then Jeff Milam and Steve Guglielmi sharing third from Adrian Lester and Andrew Bentley. Also Simon Deacon on the same number of points in 5th, and Jamie Stanley, well, 8th in the standings. Probably not fair points haul for what was a spectacular solo drive. And then it's BJ Chong and Paul McNeely next along. In the Production Championship, it's Andy Napier who's got that 6-point advantage over John Lemaster. Then Andrew Wright next along. Handy points a little bit lower down the top 10 for Gisela Ketvel and James Cannard, and certainly not a Mickey Mouse result for Donald Cannard in 9th alongside Danny Hartgrove. Next stop for the Lotus Cup UK is going to be the Silverstone Grand Prix circuit. So let's see who comes out on top there.
That's it from the Lotus Cup UK. Join us after the break for more Lotus racing from the Elise Trophy here at Snetterton.